Hasan Piker, a lot of things I agree with him on. Hasan got the guns. He is very, very handsome. Let's look up these people on this browser right here. So first, I'm going to show you Destiny Stephen Bennell. He is a commentator. He's this guy. I think he's like 5'4". He's profoundly autistic. Baker business clapped a few years later, whatever, who cares? In 2011, Bennell quit his job as a carpet cleaner to stream video games full-time, streaming his StarCraft 2 matches on livestream.com and Ustream, then Justin.tv, now Twitch, which is where I'm streaming right now. In October of that year, whatever. So, during his years as a StarCraft 2 streamer, Bennell was known for his abrasive and confrontational style, including use of acerbic and often offensive comments against other players. Then he started doing a lot of Twitch streaming and stuff like that. He argues with a lot of people all the time. He's banned off Twitch currently. He'll say things like, look at this, that I disagree with. Bennell was notified in September 2020 that his Twitch partnership agreement would be terminated the following month for encouragement of violence. The termination came as a result of comments made on stream after the Kenosha unrest shooting when he said, and I quote, "The rioting needs to fucking stop." And if that means like white redneck fucking militia dudes out here mowing down dipshit protesters that think they can torch buildings at 10 p.m., then at this point they have my fucking blessing, because holy shit, this fucking shit needs to stop. It needed to stop a long time ago. After the 2024 assassination attempt of Donald Trump, which killed one Trump rally attendee and injured 2 others, Bennell stated that Trump and his supporters, quote, "reap what they sow, and I'm here to watch the harvest." The honest fucking thing, dude, he's so much ballsier than any of you people. Sure, he's been accused of sexual assault and various things, and it's probably true. I don't know, maybe not. Following the 2003 Hamas attack on Israel, Bennell expressed support for Israel. He said the Palestinians are oppressed by all the Arab countries, and no country from them, which is supposed to be on their side, has bothered to offer them a real solution. Yeah, he's diving deep into that. I think that he has a more nuanced position on Israel-Palestine than people will usually give him credit for. But certainly, you know, nobody wants a nuanced position, and he's far more sympathetic to Israel than most people would be. He has criticized streamer Hasan Piker, which we'll watch in a second. Personal life, legal troubles. In February 2025, a federal lawsuit was filed in the Southern District of Florida alleging that Bennell shared a sexual video of fellow political streamer Pixie without her consent or knowledge, violating a federal revenge porn law and Florida's law against cybersexual harassment. Interesting. So I think he did a countersuit or something. Prior to the filing of the suit, Bennell publicly commented that the intimate video had been shared with third parties due to a leak that happened without my knowledge, consent, or authorization. I think there was also Pestany, as people call him. There also was a photo that came out of him maybe sucking Nick Fuentes' dick, although that Groiper kid who was in chat a couple weeks ago said that was not true. Kick, Twitch, X, YouTube. He has 778 million views. Now let's look up Hasan Piker. This guy, let's see some images. Okay. Pretty hot, although very photo dependent. That's like not a great photo right there. That's a really good photo. He's very pretty there. He's a bit older now. Let's see, Hasan Piker bathtub photo. That was a big one. Yeah, look at this. Look at that right there. Big chungus, this guy. Come on, that's not that ripped. I don't even see any abs right there. His ice bath challenge. This is on TikTok, which I'm not on. He is very handsome. OMG. Wreck me, daddy. Wreck me, daddy. Why is there no sound on this? There should be sound automatically on TikTok. This is annoying. There it is.
I'm going.
There we go. Might as well dip the head in there.
It's fuck. All right, boys.
Okay.
Load up under him.
Let's go.
This is supposed to be good for you or something, right? I always do those tough mutter. I'm in very good shape. I've got muscles. Don't even worry about it. Don't even fucking worry about it. I actually do kind of have a good definition. Anyway, I was generally just feeling myself right there. But I do those tough mutter challenges every year. I do a lot of different things like that. And part of those is like a dunk into like an actual ice bath. And it does fucking suck, but it's supposed to be good for you, right? Anyway, Hasan Piker, let's read a little bit about him. He is, like I said, a bit of a far left streamer. Hasan Dogan Parker, often referred to whatever. Yes, he regularly spoken about the Gaza war, advocating for Palestinians and criticizing the Israeli government. Not as much. That's just sort of what all the lefty guys are doing post October 6th. So he was on the Young Turks, blah, 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 blah. Here's how this gets relevant. Okay? Values and political beliefs. Let's talk a little about those first. Andrew Martz, the New York described Piker as anti-Trump, but hardly a loyal Democrat. Yeah, he hates the Democratic Party. Intelligencer called Piker the AOC of Twitch. Piker supported the presidential primary challenges of Bernie Sanders in 2016 and 2020 and has been an outspoken critic of both the Democratic and Republican parties. Well, Democrat quite a bit more. World affairs. Views on authoritarianism. Let's see. Yeah, he has more sympathy with left-wing authoritarian governments than I would care for. There was like an interview. Let's watch it. Don Piker, Ethan Klein, China. This right here. Say that China did Tibet a favor by colonizing them. This is what I'm thinking of right here. I did not care for this one bit.
Tibet was literally a fucking feudal slave mandate, like autonomous zone.
China did them a favor.
That was one. I mean, in America, when I say something like this, people get very upset. You know, we talk about the Dalai Lama saying "suck my tongue" or whatever, but like that's not.
Remember when the Dalai Lama did that to a kid? He goes, "Suck my tongue." That was very funny.
Not far from the norm in fucking normal Tibetan existence before the Communist Party came in and
so China unilaterally took over Tibet.
Like these are
their culture. They basically are trying to, homogenize the culture.
If your culture,
they're trying to spoil the religion and the identity.
The part of feudal warlords and slavery, abolishing that. Yes, I do think that is good.
No, China did them a favor.
I think that yes, I will be on the record
just
to
like
say
America did it.
That while the
so he's pussyfooting around it. Obviously, his position, and he goes a little bit more into this. If I can find the video clip of saying like, well, one China, Tibet. Let me see if I can find a better video clip. He's like, well, China's boarding schools in Tibet. I don't know that. Not the debate with Ethan Klein, but watch a little bit more of this. Maybe it's in here.
Tibet was literally
homogenize the culture.
If your culture,
they're trying to spoil the religion and I did them a favor.
I think that yes, I will be on the record
just
to
like
say
America did it.
That while the Chinese government,
I'm not going to say it.
Well, there is no equivalent in America.
I was going to say no equivalent, but this is exactly the point. Whereas I'm not denying that the United States government has done any variety of terrible things. It's just that Hasan Piker will be considerably more charitable when it's anti-West. He's a campus. That's his only actual, he doesn't not even have that actual position. He just wants to kind of be popular in a way like Andrew Tate. He wants to be popular amongst 12-year-olds on, Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. So he kind of goes radical anti-West, radical like I'm pro-Hamas, which I think is silly. There are things, especially domestic policy, he'll say that I agree with, but don't ever go to leftists for international policy. If you ask a leftist for international policy, they'll be like, well, I think the policy is America should kill itself. Every American should put a gun in their mouth. They literally hate America too much to be fucking rational about, much of anything. It's a problem. But whatever. So there was two events that happened this weekend. There was LibCon and the College Democrats of America. College Democrats of America invited Hasan Piker to come give a speech, talk to the people. They feel, and they might be correct on this, that we're living in a very far left moment in America, or a better way to say it is that we have a sort of Democratic Tea Party that is starting to brew. Speaking of brew, I got tea right here. We have a far left, more socialist movement in American politics. That's their position. I'm not saying I disagree with them necessarily. I think they're counting their chickens before they hatch a little bit too much, all right? We got one person in Denver. We got 3 people in New York, one of which, Brad Lander, wasn't even DSA, and in fact left the DSA after they were a little too fucking psycho after October 7th. But regardless, we are seeing movements start to bud. The degree as to which they sprout, maybe they will, maybe they won't. We'll have to see. But this is, you know, how it works. This is media. This is marketing. They're claiming victory all over the place. They're saying, we've destroyed the Democrats, blah, 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 blah. So Hasan Piker was asked to speak at the College Democrats of America. Destiny was at LibCon, a convention for liberals that I'm going to guess had less people getting pussy in it. Maybe more. I don't know. Maybe all the College Democrats of America is just a bunch of fucking people on Xanax and they have the driest penises, but ironically, the hardest pussies. No one knows. Must I be so vulgar? Yes, I must. Regardless, Destiny was in town. Someone told him, oh, Hasan is going to be doing a Q&A at the convention. You can ask him a question. All right? Hasan Piker will not debate Destiny. Destiny will debate anybody. He'll show up and argue with fucking anybody about anything. He doesn't give a shit. Hasan Piker's not really a debate lord in that kind of way. Not even taking that against him. It's just not his thing. He'll debate some people. He was going to debate Charlie Kirk before, unfortunately, Charlie Kirk got, bottom surgery on his neck. But Destiny showed up. And here's what happened. Destiny gets kicked out of convention. This guy with the Kafifa right here, that's what it's called, right? The little fucking Palestine thing. He is the vice president of the College Democrats of America.
We're not letting you in because we're worried about politics. You're worried you're going to yell some shit towards us on. We're not going to. I'm sorry. How can I not get into it? We're telling you we're not going to get it. We're telling you you're not going to get it. I know who doesn't support the Democratic Party or whatever as priority over. I'm not engaging in this conversation. Okay, I understand. Is there anybody ahead of you or anybody above you that I can speak up about this? Or? I am the national vice president. Okay. I'll be sure to call the Democrats. Yeah, but she trusts me with everything. So. Security. Security. Okay. You can chill.
So unnecessary.
This isn't. We're not letting you.
So to clarify, this was a public event, and all of these people bought tickets to it. Destiny and his weird group of like 6 other people that surround him. Now, people allegedly were tagging Hasan on various social medias, and so Hasan texted this guy and said, "Don't let them in. Don't let them in." That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true. It might be. It might not be. Regardless, they were not let in, and Hasan Piker canceled the Q&A. He said, I won't be taking questions. Okay? Now, here's the thing. I'm going to weigh in. I'm going to give my opinion on this thing because that's what everyone needs to hear. So, is Hasan Piker a threat to quote unquote the Democratic Party? Maybe. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. The Democratic Party is not terribly fucking popular right now. All right? Democratic leadership needs to go. Now, we have these people getting elected in New York, people like Daraliza, who's far to the left of me. She probably represents something a little more closely aligned with Hasan. I agree. Like and subscribe, you losers. She, talks about abolishing all police and all this kind of shit. I'm not really there with her on that one. I don't like her lack of support for NATO. I don't like her lack of support for Ukraine. I disagree with her on a variety of things. That being said, she got elected. It's what the people of New York, at least within her district, at least, the 10% that vote. Not a lot of people vote in primaries, but that's another fucking thing. Regardless, she was elected by the people she represents. And so, do your best. I hope you can help make these people's lives better. This is your promise. And, the promise of people like Hasan Piker, what they're saying, and I don't particularly trust him to be altruistic or much of anything at all, but his position is, listen, people want far left policies. The average person wants it. And if they get it, we're going to make their lives better. All right. Well, If you can get that power, I sure hope you can. I sure hope you can. You know, I'm skeptical of a lot of things you guys have to say, but it's not like the Democratic Party that we have right now is doing a great fucking job anyway. Okay. Donald Trump's president again. Give him a shot if that's what people want and that's what we want to vote for. So I understand this guy, the tough position he's kind of in. He's running the College Democrats of America, and by letting Destiny in here and letting him ask a question, this becomes about streamer drama, which he doesn't want. But, you know, I don't know. Also, Destiny is a, you know, kind of a toxic character due to the various sexual assault lawsuits against him and the revenge porn lawsuits and blah, 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 blah. I don't particularly like Hasan Parker. I do like Destiny. I don't really blame this guy for not letting him in, to be entirely honest with you. I don't really blame him, you know? It is what it is, you know? If I was the head of the College Democrats of America, I probably wouldn't invite Hasan Piker to speak. I would probably invite Destiny to speak because I think he's smart and I like him, but it maybe would make people look bad. But let's watch the speech that Hasan Piker delivered. On Hasan Piker, College Democrats. We're not going away, he says. Oh, another thing to consider right here, and this is important to note. I think this is so fucking stupid. He's wearing this Chairman Mao suit, which is what it is. He's claiming he did a trip to China that I think was state sponsored. I think he was paid by the Chinese government to go there. Certainly had all his travel handled and all that stuff. And he's very sympathetic to China. He's been very sympathetic to Russia. He's kind of mealy-mouthed on the Ukrainian invasion where he'll be like, where Vladimir Putin's bad, but also, you know, it's an American proxy state and it's a NATO He's just repeating Russian propaganda. He's kind of mealy-mouthed about this. When Russia invaded Crimea several years ago, he famously said, I say Crimea River, a Russian river. He's very sympathetic to totalitarian governments, which I don't really care for. I don't like that growing in the College Democrats. I do think that, like, America is so fucking right-wing that the Democratic Party is going to have to get really left-wing. And I think in a way that I think institutionally they're literally incapable of doing so in order for it to even close to be a centrist country. So good luck, asshole. But I think it's silly to wear this Mao suit. That's clearly what it is. It's clearly what you're going for. You're trying to appeal to 12-year-old communists on TikTok or whatever. Don't pretend like you're not. It's a silly outfit. That being said, I'm going to buy one. I think they look kind of cool.
The second leg of our journey here, heading to the conference hall for the college.
This is how these people do. They just live stream everything. This stupid little bulletproof vest and his little press thing. I don't know. He is kind of cringe. Honestly, he's very cringe, but you know, what you gonna do? So he's live streaming all the time, constantly. Let's see the speech he gives.
Freedom of speech, the way some of us practice school. Constantly, intensely, and sometimes for several consecutive hours. College Democrats, it is my pleasure to welcome Hasan Piker.
How big is the crowd? Let's see. A decent crowd, not like crazy. It's like a conference room. It's not like he's in a fucking theater or something. Again, I'm trying not to shit on Hasan because honestly, some people on the internet are psychos about this guy. All right. I don't like him very much. I think he's silly. He's a LARPer. He's just trying to, you know, get likes, whatever. Who gives a shit? People make their whole goddamn personality. People do channels where it's just shitting on Hasan. And honestly, they get a lot more views than me. So I'm doing it. I hate Hasan Piker. He needs to be banned from America. Go back to Turkey. I'm hating him for racist reasons.
Is this the one? No, okay. This is what we're using, right? Okay. This might be a little... I'm gonna fix it. Yeah, it's a little bit short for me, unfortunately, so apologies. Okay.
He is tall, but I'm taller, so I'm allowed to call him short.
Brought a little bit of Diet American Dew with me on stage. So, reflecting pool colored.
Kind of a dumb, that's some hack-ass joke. All right, that is ableist. You're also correct about that. Also, like Jay Leno in the 90s would have been like, hey, maybe we give that one more pass. Reflecting pool color. Maybe we give it a little, you know, we'll do a little bit more with that. Like, it's pretty hack.
Delicious. Not a sponsor. Just putting that out there. What an honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me, College Democrats of America. It's a great honor to be here in the heart.
See, the fact that he wears this mouse suit is a sign to me of how little he actually believes this stuff. Because if his goal was to whatever, like bring authoritarian communism into America, which again, maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe I'll look back on these words and I'm like, that's silly. I'm not really terribly worried about that, to be entirely honest with you. All right. In terms of the horseshoe theory, which is largely bullshit, but has some truth, there's one side of the horseshoe that we got to worry about right now, and it's not the communists, okay? But if that was his goal, he wouldn't be wearing a mouse suit. He wouldn't be so, like, obvious about it. No. But it makes perfect sense if you realize his goal is to get likes from 13-year-old communists on whatever social media site he's on. They go, oh, base, he looks like Mao. He fucking Stalin, cool.
The American empire. In the belly of the beast, speaking to the future activists of the Democratic Party, but as an outsider currently pushing for an insurgency. To be honest, when I first got the call from this organization, first said, I don't know what that is, I'll be honest. I apologize. And then they told me,
I was supposed to be a laugh line, didn't get a laugh. Haha, fuck you. Eat shit. Die. Fuck you. Again, I'm going real hard against Hasan. I'm hoping to get more viewers from it. You're not even that hot. I bet you have a weird dick. Fuck you.
they hadn't held a national convention of this size since the Nixon era. So give yourselves a round of applause for that. And then I was a little worried. I'll admit, me and the Democratic Party were not so close as of late. As many of you know, I thought to myself, perhaps the Center for American Progress has set up a trap for me.
It's kind of weird. We're moving into like 2028, and the Democratic Party is so unpopular amongst so many wide swaths of the population. Not all of them. There are some people that still like the Democratic Party, namely older black people who are a very important voting base. But for a lot of people, especially young people, the Democratic Party is so unpopular. We're dealing with a very weird political situation where in order to secure the nomination for a major party, someone will have to be vocally opposed to that party. Maybe we've had that. We kind of had that again with Donald Trump in 2016. I mean, that's what everyone's afraid of. A Tea Party movement taking over, you know, a left-wing Tea Party. And it's like, again, horseshoe theory is largely bullshit. It's not like both left-wing and right-wing are exactly the same. When you go with the authoritarian, you know, notion, there is more authoritarianism on both extremes than I'd care for. But like, I don't think having a far left movement in America, an actual left-wing movement, God forbid, it's going to be a problem. That was always my thing when I was like, we should vote for Democrats to defeat Republicans. When I was a younger man and considerably, you know, more lefty than I am now. But I was like, if we can defeat the Republican Party, then we could have the Democratic Party as a right-wing party and then have an actual left-wing party in America, which I do think would be good. I don't think it's ever going to happen because I think America has the first past the post and no one's going to pass voting reform because the people who would pass it would lose power doing so. But consequently, we'll never really have a parliamentary system. So everything's going to be kind of, you know, between these two. And, you know, these aren't the first two parties ever, and these parties switched at one point. But I do think that we're not going to get rid of the Republican Party anytime soon. We might get rid of all of America. So, you know, we've got that to look forward to.
Dear attendant, are you in the room? I apologize for everything I've said.
I'll be honest, I don't know who Niratan is.
It's not a secret that there are...
Well, that's the thing. People just want decent healthcare. You're absolutely correct. People want decent healthcare. And that's what I say, you know, when Hasan Piker talks about domestic issues like healthcare, I'm on his side. Now, granted, I don't like that sometimes they'll shit on a single option to only pass Medicare for all. I'd like Medicare for all too, but I don't think it's a political reality at the moment for a variety of reasons. And, you know, something like a single payer, a public option, well, public is different, but whatever. You know, we can get in the weeds of these things and talk about it, but I certainly would agree with the larger push towards a significant overhaul of the American healthcare system. When Hasan Piker talks about immigration and says, you know, we need to make it significantly easier to be an immigrant to the United States of America. I agree with that 100%. I mean, I'm basically an open borders guy. When Daria Lisa was like, no more borders at all, I pretty much agree with that, to be entirely honest with you. You know, I think that in terms of global issues, he greatly oversimplifies, you know, the Israel-Palestine issue, but everyone fucking does. But the big position that he has, which is that, you know, Israel is an out-of-control whack job ethno state, I agree with that 100%. So I like a lot of that stuff. But his, you know, appeal to authoritarianism, he's openly talked about wanting re-education camps if people are capitalist. I don't particularly like that. But again, I don't think that's really going to happen, you know? But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll be the first one in the fucking re-education camp. And honestly, I'm pretty stupid. Is it re-education if you never got educated in the first place? That's my question.
Many people in the Democratic Party that wish that I would go away, who wish that this movement would go away. Well, I'm here to tell you, we're here to stay.
That got pop. People like that.
Now, a lot of people,
most of that is joking taken out of context. And people always say context, not necessarily. Some of it is jokes. The whole, like, you know, run red with the blood of the pig dogs or whatever bullshit that is, and whatever. But I mean, when I'd see him when he'd do this stuff with Ethan Klein, where he, not as a joke, just said like, yeah, we'd consider re-education camps, which again, I've said every time I talk to Republicans, I agree with that. I think we probably do, but only for MAGA. Yeah, man, I don't know what's a joke and what's not. Ultimately, through his actions, he is more friendly with... He claims to be anti-imperialist, but he has no problem with China's imperialism in Tibet. He has no problem with Russia's imperialism through Ukraine. And so it seems like his governing, you know, force isn't actually anti-imperialism. It's just anti-America, which, you know, if someone's whole position is America bad, which is in his entire position, that is the only thing, they're going to be right a lot of the time because America is often very, very bad. But what you'll discover is they seem to believe America is uniquely bad and will extend charity to other countries out of sort of the Western hemisphere in a way that I think does not bode well for a world if he was actually in charge. But again, I don't think that's something we need to worry about, but maybe I'm wrong.
Your future employers or your current employers, they call me a lot of names. They say I'm an idealist, a radical, a terrorist. But the one thing that they don't call me is a liar.
I've heard him called a liar many times.
Anyone who wants a better future for the world, let alone this country, needs to understand that it is our job to always seek truth from facts.
What does that mean? Oh, damn, that girl is into him.
We must always expand our knowledge of the world around us and to use that knowledge to build a worldview. And then we can move on to change the world. And the reason why I stress this is because a lot of people, they see this as a career. And I work with a lot of campaigns. I've worked with establishment Democrats in the past. And right now I'm working with a lot of Democratic socialists all around the country.
Not a lot of pop. People like Democratic socialists.
And the one difference that I always see is moral conviction. Moral conviction to always say the truth.
Something that Hasan Piker is called a lot is a tanky. All right? And I do think it applies in his case. I think they call a lot of people tankies, and I don't agree. I don't think Vaush is a tanky. Someone could be a crazy far lefty, and I wouldn't call them a tanky. I would say that his positions, as much as he expresses them, are tanky, because in order to do so, you have to be, I think, in favor of state violence to quell dissent. And his comments about China and Russia suggest to me that he is very much in favor of that.
And an endless thirst to understand exactly what's going on. We have a lifetime of social conditioning that has guided our lives, that has motivated the way that we see the world. Sometimes that means we have a lot of blind spots. But moral conviction is really important because that is what makes the difference between the insurgents and the establishment Democrats that are simply following along. And I think that anyone and everyone here must constantly push for this. This task takes on a new importance today.
He's not very good at reading.
Lies and disinformation are the currency of our enemies on the right. Unable to compete with us over here in reality, right-wingers instead try to make humanity live in their dangerous fantasy land, constantly finding new enemies in our neighborhoods to position as a reason for why we are all experiencing the same struggles born out of capitalism. But sometimes I'm a glass half full kind of guy. When the right traffics in lies, the lane for telling it like it is wide open. And whoever
Go
can do
tell
that,
it on the mountain,
whoever
Hasan
can tell
Parker.
the truth, they will own the future.
Yeah, this is kind of boring bullshit. Not really talk. I mean, but you know, whatever. I'm not even blaming him for that exactly. It's a political rally, and you just got to be vague and blah 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 blah. It is what it is. It's not terribly interesting. I would like it if he went crazier.
But people fail this basic test all the time, especially in Washington, D.C. Now, I'm sure that many of you in this room feel the same energy that I do, a feeling shared by more and more people all the time of frustration with decades of political ineptitude in the face of rising fascism. Many people in this room have only known Trump, but to the older folks here and also watching at home, think about that for a second. The only politics that people in this room have ever known is shot through with...
So I think Lindsey Graham, I think Mitch McConnell's under that lectern, actually. He's the one. Let me suck that dick. He's dead, right, Mitch McConnell? Or something? That photo, was that AI? Couldn't they tell it was AI if it was? What the fuck is going on? Was Lindsey Graham legitimately, like, sacrificed? I was thinking about that today. If the roles were reversed... and it was, you know, whatever, like Chuck Schumer, everyone suspected he was dead, but then actually, whatever, Cory Booker died instead. It would be a legitimate position, a mainstream Republican position, that there was witchcraft involved. Jesse Waters on Fox News would just openly say, like, well, yeah, this is, you know, a demon did this. This was, you know, a demon. I don't know. It's interesting. He seems like he's dead, but... what about that photo? I don't know. I got a lot of questions, man, and not a lot of answers. Mitch McConnell, one of the chief architects of everything being bad right now. He's up there in like the top 5, top 10. God, what a piece of human shit. Newt Gingrich, big part of that too. You know what I heard today? Someone talk about, famously, you know, after January 6th and all that stuff, they had enough votes to impeach Trump. They were kind of fucking do it. And Mitch McConnell told them not to. And what he said was some variation of like, the Democrats will take care of the son of a bitch for us. And I think no one wanted to handle the hot potato of prosecuting a former president. You know? Mitch McConnell's bullshit. He was like, you can't impeach someone if they're out of office, which is not true. You absolutely can. He was lying and he knows he's lying. But I think he underestimated how fucking gutless the Democrats would be and how feckless Merrick Garland would be. That was the fucking problem. And I don't know what Joe Biden could have done to force Merrick Garland's hand, but he should have tried. He should have been on the TV every goddamn day saying we need to arrest Donald Trump. And their failure to do so might have destroyed the entire country. So that's cool.
Donald J. Trump. Political life shaped from above by a narcissistic tyrant who enriches himself, his ridiculous family, the Epstein class, as well as the billionaires who were smart enough to get caught, smart enough to avoid getting caught. Sorry.
If you're just hot, people, they're clapping like he was at the Special Olympics. God damn, being hot rules. I would know.
Well, as the billionaires who were too smart to get caught, going to Little St. James, and even a billionaire who was uninvited from Little St. James Island, were that atrocious.
That was so hilarious. that Elon Musk was like, so Jeffrey, could I possibly go to Little St. James? And Jeffrey Epstein didn't invite him. You know, they were like, we can't invite Elon to our kid fucking party. It's going to be weird. He's going to do like that X jump. It's gross.
Although American politicians have never been much at truth-telling, for over 10 years,
That was a weird
the
sentence.
terms of our discourse have been set by a megalomaniacal pervert. The late writer Mike Davis
Hey, man,
summed
stop
up
talking
our
about Chuck Schumer that
situation
way.
well. In his final published essay a few years ago, he said, unlike the high Cold War when Politburos, parliaments, presidential candidates, and general staffs to some extent balanced megalomania at the top, there are few safety switches between today's maximum leaders and Armageddon. Never has so much fused economic, media, and military power been put into so few hands. To you, young people of America who have chosen to enter the world of electoral politics, I know that you have grown up in this degraded era where bigotry and deceit are so blatantly rewarded in society. An era in which our rulers would rather choke us with wildfire smoke than re-examine how our way of life damages our planet, the only home we'll ever know.
And he will fight for them in the TikToks. Yeah, exactly. Young people forget to vote. Yeah, they forget to vote. But I mean, also it's like, I mean, that's one of the reasons why the DSA wins in New York are so huge, because it's been a problem that's been facing the far left for a while. And it was one of the reasons the far right figured it out with the Tea Party. But when your position is like, well, I don't know, both parties are kind of gay, you know, both parties are just owned by the Jews and the N-words and the blah, blah, blah. People aren't going to fucking vote, you know? And like, voting does matter. If it didn't matter, they wouldn't try to stop you from doing it so goddamn much. Okay? So within Hasan's, there's a certain self-defeating thing within the movement to shit on Democrats and then be like, but you should vote for Democrats, you know? It's tough, but they made it work in New York. We'll see if they can make it work in the rest of America. I have my doubts as to whether they could actually like make traction outside of, you know, areas where Democrats feel incredibly safe already. But maybe. I don't know shit. Anyone who tells you they know what the fuck is going to happen is lying to you.
This wretched era in which the third world is staring down disaster because of the upheaval caused by ours and Israel's war on Iran.
Now that woman looks, you can't really see her. The comments are covering her face, but she looked like she was kind of fuck him earlier, and now she just kind of bored. But sometimes women make that face when they want to fuck you. Women are weird and stupid. They shouldn't be allowed to vote. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I'm guessing they're all clapping for Israel. They're like, hell yeah, Jewish state, love it.
This ridiculous era in which a Supreme Court dominated by religious nutjobs rewrites our laws at will. In this world, I know even just a little bit of truth can feel like a life raft. It's why so many of you are in this room, because you meet other people like yourselves and you talk about these problems together and you feel both less alone and closer to the truth. Now, it's fair to say, as I've repeated over and over again, as you all know, that I am not a friend of many people in the Democratic Party. But that's okay. In politics, if you're everyone's friend, then you're no one's friend.
Very fucking stupid platitudes, just getting applause breaks. I mean, whatever. It's a college Democrats thing, but this speech sucks. How much longer does this have? I committed to watching this whole damn thing. This is so boring. You want me to go out and murder a landlord for you? You got to have some zhuzh to it, buddy.
But I am here today because the times have gotten very strange and new political opportunities are all around us. Chances for us to push radical political change through an electoral system that right now is going through a transformation.
That's true, I suppose.
You can feel the changes with every news story. This sense of backlash that's in the air. Inflation is not under control. Data centers that no one wants are taxing energy grids, fueling an AI bubble that may not really replace you, but will get you laid off regardless. It seems like every week our masked Gestapo, ICE, kills another innocent person. In all my years, I don't remember seeing this much blood on American pavement.
Well, you, my friend, did not watch the 100 women menstruating march. That was a really good joke. Hasanabi, more like Hasan Snobby. Hey, man, come on. Like, we have a lot of fun around here. We don't need to be, like, that low, okay? Come on. Be polite.
I often say that the United States is an empire in decline. And home, that means we are a nation in crisis. But where so much of Washington sees dangerous instability, I and many of you see promise. I see a real opportunity to change this country's trajectory, to improve the lot of humanity. And I know you feel it too. It's rooms like these that remind me just how many people see right from wrong and want to do something about it. All around the country, we're getting real.
I've got that same nervous tick.
elected.
I might get glasses like those.
And can
What kind of glasses are those? I might get some glasses like those, actually. I think I'd look good with those. I've had like these thick framed, like Weezer ass shit for years, and getting a little. We're done. We're growing up. We're getting Coke glasses. They look like, you know, do you guys remember that picture of the Switzerland Coach World Cup? This guy, the goddamn drip on this guy. Where's his glasses? Yeah. Just this guy's vibes were goddamn immaculate. Love him, but only with the glasses. What kind of glasses are they? The pushback hair. Look at that. That is a vibe for Dahmer glasses. You are so totally right. Oh, is he the same guy? Oh no, this was a different guy. They just photoshopped his face on it. But yeah, looks cool. Anyway, Murat Yakin is winning on and off the pitch, so good for them. All right. No, I was already. Where am I? This is what I was watching. There we go.
and describe it in clear and truthful terms. This means demanding an end to the endless wars, an end to profiteering off of healthcare.
You think people say those are Hasan Parker glasses? I think they would, yeah. I think they would say they belong to, in a similar way, that suit is not going to be a mouse suit. It's going to be replaced by an even greater historic villain. It's going to be an Hasan Piker suit. The most dangerous man wore be Hasan Parker glasses. Well, that's something. That could be like a SNL sketch. Yeah, pitch that. Send it to Lorne Michaels at snl.tv.
Of capital over the interests of the working class.
It's not even a full convention center.
It's talk like this that
I saw a bigger crowd for
Washington
Puddle of Mud like 5 years ago.
It's talk like this that has MAGA terrified.
I don't know how terrified MAGA is necessarily. Maybe. I think Republicans like this. But the whole thing, you know, on Fox News, they're airing this and be like, they're crazy communists. And some people are, some people are of the opinion that this is bad for Democrats because it makes them look crazy in right-wing media. But that's what they're already saying. They called Joe Biden a communist. Like, what the fuck does it matter whether or not they're actual communists? Like, Hasan Piker, as far as I understand, is an actual communist. Daria Liza is an actual communist. We have actual communists in office. Good luck, buddies. Have fun with it. Maybe you'll do it right this time. I don't fucking know. But like the whole argument that it's going to scare the normies, like, I don't know, maybe scare the normies, but not because of what Fox News is saying, because Fox News says that all the time anyway.
These people in hate movements who try to control our lives are most afraid of popular action, of democracy, of the people. They're afraid of us because of the simple fact that there are more of us than there are of them.
Nah, I don't think there are a lot of communists. Hasan is a democratic social. I mean, like, he says that, but he also, like, praises Chairman Mao and Stalin. He's saying he's democratic socialist because that's the party that he's in. But again, also he doesn't have a coherent ideology. It's just whatever appeals to kids on social media. So, he'll say democratic socialist stuff and then he'll say farther communist stuff. I mean, who gives a shit? Ultimately, labels are just, just that. They're just labels. They're inaccurate. They're undelicate by definition.
And there always will be. There are more good, decent
Wow, you really hate
people with moral
Hasan.
conviction.
I hate him so much. Oh, I'll get him. Get him. I need to get 100K views, so I'm just going to be shitting on Hasan now. This is a Hasan hate channel.
Who find it
That being said, Hasan, I would like to work out with you. So give me a call. We'll go to the gym. I'll spot you.
unfathomable that the wealthiest nation on earth chooses to spend its billions blowing up schools overseas rather than building schools in our neighborhood. Find people who can't understand why in the wealthiest nation
I'm
on
legit
earth
gonna get
there are
glasses like
hundreds
this.
of thousands of people who
That's my
will
main
go
takeaway
sleep
from this.
outside tonight.
I'm
and
going to
millions
attack
more
Hasan in
who live
Minecraft.
paycheck
I agree.
to paycheck.
I am going to, in Minecraft, fuck Hasan Piker's ass.
Hardworking people, frustrated that an honest day of labor delivering packages, cleaning counters, or teaching children is no longer enough to take care of a family or own a home. All the while, the world's wealthiest
own a home,
man
he just gotta live in
sits around
Kentucky.
tweeting racist screeds and
That's
unfunny jokes as people grow his
That's
net worth
100%
into
true.
the trillions.
Yeah, he's got him on that one.
I should add that none of this is an accident. The inequality is the design of our system. When you see broken downtowns in a state of disrepair, or potholes that never get filled, or homeless people suffering in the
Zoran filled the
streets, remember,
potholes.
this is the design of our system. It is not the moral failings of the individual, but a whole architecture where the ultra-rich stick their hands in the pockets of everyone else.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Just as every person
It's super vague,
who has no
obviously,
shelter
because it's,
is a
just
policy
political platitudes,
failure,
but I'd agree. Yeah.
Every billionaire is a policy failure. But just as every billionaire is a policy failure, and every congressperson who's refused to change these policies have failed you, have failed all of us.
Okay.
We have placed corporate
No,
interests
he does a Roman salute. Yeah. At the end, he goes, "My heart goes out to Chairman Mao." So far, general review, it's a political speech, so it's not just a bunch of fucking vague platitudes, but a lot of shit that I would agree with generally. Vibes I kind of like. I don't like how much politics are vibes, but I would kind of go with all that. But, Hasan Piker says a lot of things I agree with. A lot of other shit that I think is cringy and larpy. But, if the future of the Democratic Party is further left, and it might be, I don't think that's a terrible thing, but we'll see what happens.
above the interests of the people. I say no more, and we say no more. I've traveled all around the country. I've talked to countless people over dozens of protests.
I could count them.
I've gone to rallies. I've gone to marches. I've gotten shot at by my own law enforcement that I pay.
That happened. Wasn't he at some protest in like LA and then he left early and they shot? I think I read that. Maybe not. I don't fucking know. I'm not obsessed. Some people are obsessed with this song guy, dude. It's crazy.
With my taxes, the salary of, and all I ever hear from the people by my side is no more. And not just, thank you,
Yeah.
and not just the no more to Trumpism, but no more to the Democrats who compromise, who conciliate, and who betray us.
Yeah, I mean, going to a college Democrats convention and shitting on Democrats, not a great look, but Democrats are unpopular right now. People aren't happy with what the Democratic Party's offering. And to some degree, you could say, well, that's just media environment. They don't know a lot. And that's true. But you got to get good at messaging, man. That's how politics works.
No more to the fascist reactionaries, but no more to the Democrats who will collaborate and cooperate with the fascists, who will fund ICE, who will fund Israel, who will help poison the planet, who will save workers and help bosses. We don't need those Democrats anymore. In fact, we have a message. We are coming. We are on boss. We're on.
Do not come. Do not come.
Unbound, we're unbound, and we will become undeniable.
Okay. You know, did he say we are Hamas? He did. At the end, he said death to, Israel, Allahu Akbar. Yeah, I don't know. Largely cringe, but good luck. Good luck.